Hey cuties, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing so well. So in today's video, I'm going to be trying to build some nail extensions using the solid non-stick nail glue gel stuff and dual forms. Someone suggested that I do this with the really pretty Aurora solid like non-stick gel that I have, and I thought that was a great idea. And I happened upon some really pretty Aurora solid glue gel stuff on Temu, and I figured that I would test out using dual forms with the solid nail glue gel non-stick stuff. That is like a mouthful. I cannot say that. Okay, anyway, let's get into it. Let's go. So the Aurora non-stick hand extension nail gel, non-stick whatever that I usually use is this one from Born Pretty. I really love this one because I know that it cures solid, because not all non-stick nail extension gels cure like super rock solid. For example, this one that I have, I found that when it cures, it's still like slightly squishy, but I had just had a set of nails on with it for longer than a week and nothing bad happened to me. The longevity was actually amazing. And so I really love this one specifically for adhering full cover tips, but I wouldn't use this one to build a nail necessarily because I don't want the tip of my nail to be flexible like that. I want it to be solid and strong. So I bought this Aurora non-stick hand extension nail gel from Temu and this one. And before I use them with the dual forms, I want to test to see if they cure absolutely rock solid, because that's very important to me. Yo. Oh, yo, that is so pretty. That's crazy. That's really pretty. Wow, look at that. Purple, bro. All right, so I'm just gonna grab out a little bit. And I'm gonna pop this in my UV lamp for a full minute to see how it cures. And while that one is baking, I'm gonna go ahead and open this one. Also, what's the deal with that? Look at the different sizes, like, bruh. The thing about Temu is you can never tell what size you're gonna get. You have to make sure to look in the description for how much you're about to get, because I feel like that's a significant size difference. And it definitely is, because this one's 15 milliliters and this one's only 5. So I doubt we'll be building a full set with this one today. Ooh, and right off the bat, this one feels softer than the other one. So I kind of doubt that this one is going to cure as solid as the Aurora one. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this one in the UV lamp now. And by this time, the Aurora one is finished and it is completely rock solid from what I can tell. Hear that? Rock solid. And actually, to me, it seems like it's made out of the exact same material probably. If I had to guess, it feels the exact same as the Born Pretty one. And I really love the Born Pretty ones that I've had experience with. So if this one works as well as those ones do, that's gonna be really great. So since this one cured rock solid, I know I can definitely build a set with some dual forms with these ones, or with this one. And actually, to my surprise, I think that this one cured rock solid as well. I tried like stabbing it with this thing and it's not making a dent. So epic. So both of these ones cured rock solid, which is really great news. So theoretically, either of these should be great for using with some dual forms. But before we get into that, I've got to do a little bit of prep. So first of all, I feel like low-key the Jello peel-off base coat is still on my nails because they look shiny and they feel like a bit sticky almost. But the previous set that I had on came off super easily. And I think that that's partly due to this gel. Like this gel I'm finding is just really great so far, my experience with it. There was no lifting or anything like that, but then it came off super easily. So I'm definitely going to be using this more often in the future. But because there is a bit of like leftover product on my nails, I'm just going to take my little 240 grit mini mandrel sanding band and I'm just going to quickly remove any leftover product, and I'm just going to do this at a pretty low speed. So since I feel like I cleaned up any like dead skin cuticle from my nail beds with that mini mandrel, I think that I'm actually going to skip pushing back my cuticles today. They are already pretty pushed back. So now I'm just gonna take some alcohol and wipe off any dust and also sanitize / dehydrate them, get them all clean. I was debating putting the dehydrator and primer and base coat on one by one as I do each nail, but I think I'm actually just gonna do it all at once because that just seems like a lot more curing to do it one by one. And I do want to cut down on my curing time whenever possible because like when you're doing your own nails, the curing time can really just like make it take a lot longer than it would usually. So I'm just putting on my dehydrator. And then I'm gonna put on my primer, and I'm gonna be just a little bit more careful with this one that it doesn't touch my skin. And now I'm gonna go in with my Jello peel off base coat. So with the Born Pretty non-stick nail extension gel, I found that it didn't stick quite as well to the Jello as it would to my normal base coats. Like the longevity wasn't as long. So what I would do with that one is I would put a regular base coat over my peel off base coat so that I didn't get any lifting or popping off before I want to take them off. And I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing today as well, because I'm kind of assuming that this Aurora one from Temu is going to act very similar to the Born Pretty one. But before I put the regular base gel, I am going to give this peel off one a full 60-second cure. And then I'm just gonna go in with this regular base gel from my Beetles kit. And another 60-second cure. So for my dual forms, I'm going to be using these long square dual forms that I got from Amazon, and I actually have them already sized out. And these dual forms are just some nice regular straight dual forms. And then Sauvaland actually sent me this really cute little flash curing nail lamp. And it's kind of funny because I had just bought this one from Shein. So now I can do kind of like a comparison. Right off the bat, just like holding them, they both kind of seem similar quality. This one does look a bit fancier, but the weight is pretty much the same. This one though does have a little like LED screen to show you the second countdown, and you can change it based on how long you want it to go. Whereas this one just kind of has one setting. That's it. But that's kind of the only difference that I can tell right off the spot. This one has one little bulb and this one has a bunch, and I don't know exactly the strength of it. So this one is 12 watt, the one from Sauvaland, but I'm not sure for this one. We'll test this one out today and I will have it linked down in the description. All right, time to build some nails. So I think right off the bat, I'm just going to start by using this Aurora one. So I'm just gonna like scoop some out with my dual form, enough to build like the whole nail, so we're gonna need quite a bit. And instead of pushing it down with my finger, because I'm kind of too lazy to put a glove on right now, I'm actually gonna try to just use this cuticle pusher to flatten it out. And since it's non-stick, this should work perfectly. The problem with this is I feel like if you don't add enough the first time to go all the way to the top, I feel like it might be a little hard to like go back in and add more. Maybe I'm wrong though, because I feel like there's gonna be like an obvious division if I go in and add more right now, but I do kind of want it to reach all the way to the top. What if I did like a French tip with this white one? That might be really cool. Okay, let me try to kind of like shape this out in here, and we're gonna try to build the French tip in the dual form. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna start over with this. All right, you know what? I'm gonna put on a glove. I'm just gonna go ahead and put on a full glove instead of the finger glove because I just like have this one on my desk. And I feel like it's kind of hard to only use 2 fingers sometimes. I end up touching it with my other fingers accidentally. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll this one back up into a ball. I don't know why. Like once you've already kind of used it, it's hard to roll it back up into a ball. You've kind of just like got to let it settle on its own low key. So I'm actually just gonna sit this one aside and we're just gonna try that again. And this time I'm going to shape it out for the French tip. Also trying to make the side walls a bit thinner. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna grab out some of this white one and add it over there. Why is there black on it? Wait, that's not black. It's a piece of the foil. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with my cuticle pusher. It's kind of hard to get in there with my finger, to be honest. Trying to make it pretty flat because I know it doesn't need to be super thick at the end. Okay, like you see, I feel like this would be a little bit easier to do with polygel low-key because I don't know, like polygel is just more like moldable and like self-leveling, whereas this one's not, if that makes sense. I just really need to make sure to fill in all the gaps. Okay, like I feel like I've used so much white, but for some reason it still feels like there's not enough, so I'm gonna add even more. No, I feel like I'm losing the nice French tip. Like, I feel like that's not the cutest French tip ever, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just looks like so weird. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one was kind of a dud, low-key. It was a good idea. It was a good try, but we're gonna scrap this idea because it's not working. It's not working. And I'm just gonna squish this together and maybe we can make a cool marble nail. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna let this one kind of settle a little bit and we're gonna use this later for one of the other nails to make a cool marble. Okay? All right, I'm gonna try again with just the Aurora, but this time get a bit. Feel like that's like a lot. Feel like it's unnecessary to get that much. Let me try to make this as thin as possible because I think last time what might have happened is I think it was just like way too thick. So I'm trying to keep it thin. I'm also trying to make sure that it gets all the way up the sides. Like, do you see this? I don't understand what's happening. This is honestly so much harder than I thought it was gonna be. What the heck? All right, let's go back to this blob. Try number 3. 3rd time's a charm, hopefully. I'm gonna start by rolling it into like more of a snake this time. I feel like that's probably a better start. All right, so I didn't bring it all the way up to the top, but I think that that's as good as I'm gonna get it, to be honest. And I feel like the sides are pretty thin. I almost feel like they're too thin, but I'm gonna put it on and see what happens. Okay, that went on pretty easily. None gooped out or anything. Looks pretty straight to me. So I'm just gonna stick that in my UV lamp for a full minute. I would just flash cure it and move on to the rest of them and then take all the forms off at once. But I do want to cure this one all the way to make sure that it worked. And like, I think you get the point. All right. Okay, so that was 60 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to pop this form off. Okay, so at first glance, it's all right. Obviously, I don't know if it's because the sides are too thin or what, but it does feel a bit bendy and squishy. I'm gonna try to cure it for another 30 seconds maybe and see if that helps because I'm not gonna be able to file it very well if it's like this. So, okay, 30 seconds later and it honestly still feels the same. I think that this part might just be super flimsy because it's super thin. So I'm actually just gonna cut that length off. And with that length cut off, it actually feels better. I'm just gonna file down the free edge a bit to see how it would look, determine if we're gonna do this for the rest of them. All right, so a lot went wrong here. I was trying to file it into a coffin shape and then things went south. So I know that using the dual forms is possible, so I'm not giving up, but I am going to scrap this one. I'm gonna go remove it, reapply the base coat and everything, and I'll be back to try again. See you in a sec. Okay, I'm putting on my regular base gel again. Sorry if this is a little redundant. I wanted to show you something that I didn't realize. This little light actually comes in so handy for doing just a single nail like this, because instead of having to put this in my huge UV lamp and have my entire hand in my UV LED lamp for 60 seconds, this one has a little timer on it for 60 seconds, and then I can just do a single finger for 60 seconds, which is really great. And I can also tell that this is a pretty strong lamp because it's low-key giving me heat spikes. I don't know if that means anything, but yeah, just thought I'd mention that. Just wanted to show you guys how handy it is. Also, I just had a mini epiphany. I was thinking that using the stiletto is probably going to be a lot easier than doing the square, but then I was like, but I kind of want like the square slash coffin shape. And I realized I could literally just form out a stiletto and then chop off the end and it'll be a coffin, instead of having to shape out a coffin from a square. Like, that is so much easier. So that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch gears. I think that I should have a much easier time with the stiletto. So let's try this again. I low-key feel like I'm gonna use this entire thing for just one set, but it's whatever. Ooh, I should have rolled it out into a snake first. Just realized that. I'm gonna switch from using my finger to using this little silicone tool. I use this little silicone tool for my sculpting gel usually, so I feel like it should work well with this as well. Make sure to get it all the way up to the sides, because if you don't get it all the way up to the sides, it's like really hard to go back and fix that. Kind of just stuck with it. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. It seems to be going up all of the side walls pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick it on. There seems to be a pretty large air bubble like right in the center, but I think it should be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cure it. All right, let's pop it off. Yo, okay. First inspection, it looks pretty good. That looks good to me, except for this air bubble. That doesn't look too great, but it's fine. I can like put a little charm on that or patch that up later. The tip is very flimsy just because it's so thin, but I made it so thin because I knew that I was just going to chop off the tip in order to make it into a coffin. Oh yeah, now that the tip is gone, it feels really strong. All right, before I do all of them, I'm actually just gonna file this one up really quick, just because I want to see how it looks and make sure everything is good before I do this to all of them. So I decided to go like the extra mile with filing, and I filed it just into sort of like a long almond, long round. I don't know. I want to say that this is a long almond, but I'm honestly not quite sure. But I think it looks cute. I think it looks good, and it's pretty strong to an extent. It definitely does have some flexibility, but I think that's good, maybe. So now I'm just going to really quick just dual form all of these up. But this time I'm just going to flash cure each of them on for like 15 seconds before I fully cure all of them in the UV lamp. All right, so here they are, not filed. Don't mind this one over here. I'm going to file them up right now. I think that the marbles turned out more or less okay, and this white one feels pretty solid. Same with the tip, like the end is just like super flimsy, but hopefully once I chop them down and file them, it should be all right. So let's go ahead and do that. I think that they look so pretty. I really love the milky white with the aurora. It's so nice. But part of me feels like some of them are really bendy, or like just I feel like they're gonna break. Some of them, like the structure of the nail just really isn't good, like this one. And I feel like they're really pretty, but I kind of want to do a really thin clear cap of acrylic over them just to like save the structure of the nail so that they don't break and I can actually like wear them, because they are really pretty. So just for my peace of mind, I think I am going to put a clear cap of acrylic on them just so that I can wear them for like a week or longer without them breaking, because even though they're really pretty, they definitely won't be pretty broken. I think part of that may have just been my fault, just like not doing it either thick enough, also placing the form on wrong. I definitely kind of slid this one further up while I was fixing underneath, and then kind of had to just fill that part in a little bit, which is why the strength point is just like really off on this one. So I am just gonna go ahead and put a really quick clear cap of acrylic on this. I'm just gonna use my number 12 Solvalent acrylic brush and my Cure Sky EMA monomer. Kind of off topic, but then again, not really. I literally don't think I've ever done a set of acrylic that didn't have glitter in it, to be honest. Like every single set I've done has had glitter in it. Like seriously, the first set of acrylic that I ever did, it was testing those glitter acrylics from Temu, and then after that I started doing custom glitter acrylics, and I literally don't own any acrylics that are like colors, to be honest. The only ones I own are nudes, clear, and then any custom glitter acrylics that I've made, or custom acrylics that maybe don't have glitter but have mica powder. I just thought that was kind of funny. So I went ahead and filed them all up off camera. I didn't think you'd want to sit through more filing, and I think that they're feeling much better now. They're not perfect, but they're definitely a lot better. They feel a lot more strong, obviously, with that cap of clear acrylic. I don't think that it was totally necessary, but like just for my peace of mind, because I do like a lot of things with my hands and I'm always typing and I go to the gym, I do want them to be as strong as possible. To be honest, I don't know if I would ever use the dual forms with this solid nonstick nail glue gel again, unless there was like a solid nail glue gel that was like super pretty and I didn't have it in any other form, like poly gel or acrylic or something like that. But anyway, now that we've got them all capped and nice and solid, I want to do some like rhinestone designs on these. Also, some of them might look a bit dirty because as I said before, I've been using a lot of glitter acrylic, and I think that my monomer dish was a little bit dirty even though I tried to clean it. So yeah, maybe a bit dirty. Just ignore it. That's okay. So I went through my stuff and I found a bunch of like Aurora. I definitely want to use like these Aurora rhinestones. I have more Aurora rhinestone gems, and then I might use some of these silver ones. I feel like a mixture between the blue and the silver would look really nice. I got out my caviar beads. I've never used these before, but I've seen them used in so many people's like nail designs with rhinestones. So I think I want to try to use them today. I got out this just because I might want to use like a couple of like those rhinestones. And I think low key I want to put some Aurora powder on top of these because I just want them to be like super duper Aurora-y, if that makes sense. Like I want them to be like the most that they can be. So at this point, I think I'm going to put a little bit of sunscreen on my hands because now that I'm doing the nail art, my hands might be in and out of the nail lamp a lot. And then I'm just going to give them all a good wipe with some alcohol to get rid of any of the sunscreen that may have gotten on the nails. Also, I don't know what shape that you would consider this. I don't know if it's just like a dulled stiletto or a long almond. I was low-key going for a long almond, so that was like the goal. I don't know if I executed it very well, but nevertheless, we move forward. To put the Aurora powder on, I'm going to start by applying a top coat because you need to apply powders over a top coat. You can tell like where that air bubble was in this one. It's not like affecting the nail obviously because I clear capped it with acrylic, but it's just like not that pretty, I guess. And I'm gonna give that a full 60-second cure. They look very pretty just like this, but I definitely don't want to leave them like this. This is way too plain for me. So I'm gonna wipe off the top coat with alcohol to get rid of any stickiness, because if it's sticky, the powder won't work. Kind of doesn't make any sense. You'd think that if it's sticky, the powder will stick, but no, it needs to be not sticky. So wipe it off with some alcohol. I find even if it says that it's no wipe top coat, that you still kind of need to wipe it off with some alcohol. The camera is not liking this powder, but I think I'm gonna go with this powder because it matches like the Aurora that I've already got in here. So I'm just gonna use my sponge applicator and I'm gonna apply this to all of my nails. And then I'm just going to dust off any of the extra powder. And I'm not going to worry about the places that it got on my skin because I can just wipe that off, wash my hands after these nails are done and top coated. So I'm going to actually go in with another top coat now. I don't know if this is like completely necessary to do right after, especially because I'm about to go in with rhinestones and then top coat it again. So we'll have applied like 3 layers of top coat, but I'm going to go in with another top coat to seal in all that powder. I also just feel like the rhinestones might not adhere as well to the powder as it would to like a top coat. So I'm just gonna put a quick top coat on and give it a full cure. Okay, I actually remembered that I have these like really cute little gem decals, whatever. It's like a little Aurora heart with like a really pretty like silver frame or whatever. So I'm definitely gonna use this, and I feel like it would be pretty to use the silver ones with it. So I'm gonna grab these ones out as well. And I definitely don't have an exact plan for this. We're just gonna go in and wing it, because who would I be if I wasn't winging it? Wouldn't be me. That's what I'm telling you. Oh my god, it's sliding off. I do usually prefer to use the McCart rhinestone glue gel for the bigger gems, especially because it's a bit thicker and the bigger gems tend to want to slide around, which is really annoying. It literally just becomes this battle of trying to get the decal to stay where you want it to without sliding off the nail. It's quite infuriating. Okay, so my camera died while I was doing that, but I finally flash cured it on there for like 20 seconds, and I'm flash curing it on more because I'm scared it's gonna move. I literally spent like 10 minutes, probably 15 minutes, I don't even know. It was very frustrating though, trying to get these to stay where I wanted them to. They kept sliding around. So I think I'm definitely just going to use my McCart rhinestone glue gel for the rest of this. I really do prefer it because it's like so much thicker and they don't slide around as easy. So here we have this. I decided that I'm gonna go back in at the end after I do all of them to add in caviar beads. Okay, so I think I'm gonna use some of these Aurora ones now. I'm also like planning these out on my table before I put them on my nails, just so that there's like less time for them to slide around. And I'm finding that I keep overestimating how much space I have on my nails and then making it like way too long, but that's okay. I think that once I fill it in with all like the teeny tiny rhinestones and caviar beads, it'll look really good. I think that they look really good just like this, but I think what would make them look even more like detailed and kind of like more finished is if I added some of these little caviar beads just in like random spots between the gems and such. So what I've seen people do with these caviar beads to put them on is I'm gonna use this little palette and I'm gonna take some of my nail glue gel. So this is like nail glue gel that I use to adhere tips, and I'm gonna put some of that on here. And then what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna put a bunch of these caviar beads like inside of the gel, probably like way too many, and I'm gonna mix them in with the gel, and this way it'll be like so much easier to put them onto my nail without them like rolling around, and also it will help them like stick better. And I'm just gonna pop them on my nail. Putting those caviar beads on was actually like crazy tedious, and I actually managed to use all of the caviar beads that I put on that little palette, and it took absolutely forever. But I think it made a little bit of a difference. You know, I think it looks a little bit more professional or something now. These are hands down the blingiest nails I've ever done, but I'm not done. So I'm just gonna go in with this top coat. I like using this top coat because it's super thin. And I'm gonna go in with my little liner brush. And I'm carefully gonna go around any of the gems, but I am going to top coat the caviar beads because I definitely want to include them in the top coat so that they stick better. I'm definitely gonna finish off with some cuticle oil today because my hands are feeling super dry. It's definitely just the colder weather makes my hands so dry, and my lips and my face. Everything is super dry and crusty up in here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know what you think about this like solid non-stick nail glue gel method with the dual forms. Personally, I don't think I'll be using it very often. Like I said, I just don't really like using dual forms in general. I think I'll just stick to using the non-stick glue gel to apply full cover tips and stuff like that. Otherwise, I think these nails turned out super cute. They're definitely the most blingy nails I've ever done, and I am super proud of them. Although I definitely know I could use a lot more practice with bling nails just to get to a point where it doesn't take me 2.5 hours to do it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Everything will be linked down below, including this little flash curing lamp. I think I'm definitely going to be using this one instead of the one from Shein from now on, just because I really love how it has that timer. That timer is like super convenient, and it's just really cute and pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, definitely give it a thumbs up because it helps me out a lot. You guys have no idea, it helps me out so much. And don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. I hope you're having the most beautiful, amazing beginning of your year. Have a beautiful week. I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.